Welcome to The Scoop, brought to you by the Athletes Forum and K-Noah Athletics Sporting Apparel. We have with us Sinioki Crocodiles quarterback, Spencer Cutlan. Spencer, welcome to the show, man.
Pleasure to be here, as always. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I don't even know what to get into today. Let's get into some real topics, Spencer. Tell me this. You're the quarterback for the Crocodiles now. We're just gonna leave that out there. You're the quarterback. But this season in Finland, you've played in Finland before. You've played in Germany. You're originally from the UK area. I don't know which country. I don't want to get that wrong. Y'all have gotten on me before about saying English instead of Welsh, so I don't want to get into all that. But you've been around, a little bit of an older guy. What are your thoughts on the talent level in the Maple League here compared to what you've seen in the past? I know it's always competitive and there's a lot of good players, but is there anything, different about this season that you've noticed or that you think has happened?
That's a great question, because you have to look at it in terms of obviously the circumstances that we're in this year. The corona outbreaks have affected everything. In terms of like sponsorships for teams in order for money to come in. And then obviously teams have had to make executive decisions as to what they're going to do in terms of players. Like, are we going to stick with purely a Finnish-based team? Are we actually going to be able to source American players? Are they going to be able to come here? We had issues with some travel arrangements with Alex Germany and Christian Powell. Christian was supposed to come out in March. And literally, I think the lockdown started and his flight was like the day after. So obviously that was postponed. There was stuff at the border we had to figure out. We were calling around to different embassies trying to get everything sorted. So it's been a responsibility of the team on an executive level as to what they do and the approach they take, which has then resulted in a various spectrum. We've seen teams like the Roosters who've said, right, we're going purely with Finnish talent, and then you've got like the situation here in the Crocodiles is that we don't necessarily have the budget we have every other year. Yes, we've still managed to bring players in, but it's been a bit more not as streamlined, I'd say. Obviously, I've ended up a quarterback as a result of this situation too, which isn't the perfect scenario, but it's just how it is. Yeah. And then Kuopio have managed to find some partners to make them very powerful in terms of financial resources. So the situation is different, but the talent-wise, it speaks for itself. The players that especially are on our team, CP returning again for his third season is without doubt, in my mind, one of the best running backs out there. Who's available in Europe. Then we've got like Robitaille, who's a big name player out in Germany with Schwäbisch Unicorns. You got AJ Wentland, Max Defialis, you got Max Zimmerman, Kimi Lindemar's coming back, or Kate has come back. There's a lot of talent, and I think because we've been able to access the talent a bit more from Europe, there's been a bit more freedom for people to move around because of the situation. So I think this year's been a good year in terms of talent level, but it hasn't been evenly spread. I think there's still not an even spread over the teams. So I personally thought it would be a bit more even when they announced we would play, because I thought there would be a lot more Finnish Finnish heavy teams. But then when we led up to the season, signings started coming in from everywhere, and if you had the resources to react, you could. If you didn't, then you obviously have a less talent across the board. So
the rich man's
I think the talent level's high. It's just not evenly spread over the league. I thought there was going to be a lot of potential to have like a really competitive season. I mean, we have had 3 teams on 3 and 2. It could have been 4. So that's yes, there's a lot of talent. It's great to see, but I think it could have been spread around a little bit more. But given the circumstances, I think the Finnish league has represented itself very well this year, and people have got to see that.
You got anything for him, Q?
No. I'm just listening.
Okay.
You guys say everything, man.
Yeah.
That was a long answer.
That's fine. We're trying to make this scoop a little bit shorter anyways, but you have a very valuable insight with your traveling throughout the different leagues and stuff. One thing I want to ask was you've already talked about like the talent level of it here in Finland, but what do you see on the international scale going forward after this COVID situation? There's a lot of talk that, the GFL, the CFL canceled. That was crazy big. So you have CFL talent guys, like you have the German guy who was in the CFL now playing in Poland. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Not Zimmerman.
The D lineman, right?
Yeah, the D lineman. He's playing in Poland, but Zimmerman is a CFL guy. He's playing in Kuopio. So the trickle down system is crazy. Not just GFL, CFL players, especially European CFL players, might be coming, to Finland. And then next year we're looking at, okay, if the CFL starts back up, which I don't think that's even going to happen because of the money, but the GFL might. But you have players who are like, why go play in a GFL where they don't even know what they really want to do when I can play in, Finland, I can play in Poland, I can play in Sweden or France. Do you think that, going forward, we might see kind of what you were expecting to see here is, a little bit more spread of wealth of high caliber players throughout Europe, like outside of Germany?
Yeah, I mean, you saw a lot of GFL star names spread around the leagues that are playing. And that, I think, has opened doors that people didn't know existed before. So maybe the big name players in Germany are like, okay, I'm playing the best football, but what if I do want to go and experience something else? So now they know where the Finnish league is. They've been seeing it all this season. They know where the Denmark league is. So maybe that opens a few more doors for people to spread around. Don't get me wrong, the GFL is still going to have the pull because, it does have the highest level. But obviously, like you mentioned, what is their reputation going to be like after this season? And are they going to restructure? Are they going to change things? We don't know. Yeah. And obviously, Germany have they have the transfer. They have 10 transfer cards, like limit. So that obviously changes things, because what if those people that played last year didn't play this year? What if they've gone home back to the US or wherever they hail from, and they think, nah, do you know what, I'm not going to play this year? Well, that means that the GFL has to reshuffle because they can't transfer that many players. So it could be a shake-up. It could change a few people's perspectives. So it'll be interesting to see. I think this situation is unprecedented. So I think we just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a pretty awesome situation, man. I think so. That's all we're going to talk about on Scoop today. We're making it quick, man. Just wanted to get your insight, Spencer Cutlan. Appreciate you coming on. It's always good to talk to you because you have so much experience and valuable experience in the game, both internationally and of course here in Finland. I'm pretty sure after your last game at quarterback in the regular season, you have now officially reached like legendary status. I'm sorry, like
he's a legend.
You're a legend. Like I don't care if you never do anything well ever again in your life, football wise. If you never do anything, the way you finish this regular season, is enough for us to say that you are a legend, my man. A legend.
I do appreciate that. I really do. Obviously, I respect you guys for having that experience and knowing, where the talent lies. And I mean, I'm just grateful that this sport has brought me a crazy amount of opportunities. And I suppose I just look back on my sort of previous life back in Wales, that my experience in sport has been able to open these doors. So yeah, that's a you shocked me with that comment, to be honest. I wasn't expecting that, but I appreciate that a lot. I mean, in my viewpoint, I'm just boring answer warning, but I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do. Like, I've never been the number one guy. I've never been the, like, you know, the flashy sort of big numbers, top of the lists of everything. But, like, I just try and do what I do the way I know how to do it, and it's got me to where I am. So I suppose I've done something right.
You know, it's weird to say it, but I'm just gonna say this: like, you remind me of the I would call you the Frank Gore of the International Football League. You know,
Wow.
like, just think about it. Frank Gore I think he's like top 5 in rushing yards all time or something like that.
Yeah, all time. Yeah, I think so.
There's people that think that, like, he's not a Hall of Famer because he's never been the number one, like, rusher, or I don't think he's ever been like top 3 rusher in the league in his career, but he's consistently been, like, on the top end. And the thing is, it's easy for people to say, oh, this guy was great for a couple of years, okay, put him in. Oh, this guy was great for a couple of years, put him in. Oh, this guy was great for a couple of years. But the thing about football is it's very hard to be good for a long period of time. It's very hard to be able to adapt with your situations. You have guys who, if they lose a little bit of speed, they're not as good as they once were. They can't play the game anymore. You have guys who, if they have an injury, they can't come back. Not everybody's, you know, Adrian Peterson. You tear your ACL, a lot of people, they're done. Like, you don't have a comeback time. But what we've seen from you in your career, and obviously I've only been watching you probably for the last 5 years. I was after the Air Force season when I started watching you guys. I remember seeing everything, but what I've seen from you is a guy who's, you know, consistently, I mean, being realistically, you're a number 2 receiver. Okay, someone has to play a number 2 receiver spot. But I've also seen you go over and play defense and make plays for your team. So you go to the GFL and play at a higher level than what anyone thought you could play. So you come back to Seinäjoki and take on a leadership role at one of the most difficult positions in the game at quarterback and do it successfully. Albeit, you know, the beginning was not great for you. Yep. But saw you grow in this position that a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. And that is what separates you in my mind. And I can't speak for Q, but, you know, whatever he thinks about you as well. But that's what separates you from those average players who we can kind of pigeonhole them somewhere. Spencer Cutlan, you're a legend. And a legend does what a legend does. You do what it takes to get the job done. And we appreciate you for that.
I honestly don't know what to say. I really do appreciate that.
And
you didn't mention the kicking game. That's
well, you do the kicking game. Okay, full transparency. Your kicking game has suffered from you becoming a quarterback.
Yeah, this year because our systems.
That's why. But usually you are one of the best kickers. I mean, we're going to talk about it on the podcast. I think only one team made a field goal this year in Finland. Yeah. So. But let's end it on a good note. That's why.
Nah, I honestly, I don't know what to say. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't planned. Again, this wasn't planned. This is a scoop. We kind of just talk off the rip. But you're one of those guys who needs to be talked about. And if anybody got something bad to say about you, tell them come meet me. We can do this the right way.
meet me on the Zoom.
Meet me on the Zoom.
Good luck.
Send me the link.
Meet me on the Zoom. You know, perfect. Y'all can find me where you can find me. I'll be in Lahti, Finland all day, every day. But that's it for the scoop. We really have fun doing this. We went longer than time, of course. But Spencer Cutlan, thanks for coming on. Coach Q, always good to talk with you. And we'll see y'all next time. Whoever's watching this clip.
Yeah, man.